WillsVgAddiction. I like your argument on these things being pieces of plastic that are only worth what we allow them to be worth. That can be said about many things. What is a diamond? It's a rock. Once you polish it up, it's pretty. So what? Jewels are literally things that just sit around looking pretty and have no other use outside of that. However, we have put extreme levels of value on them for all of human history. At least you can play a game, just a thought. Have you ever checked out some other areas of extreme collecting? In trying to understand my own collecting obsession, I've looked into other areas of collecting and some of the more prolific collectors of various things, and I haven't even come across any genre as bizarre or mock-worthy as the gaming side, but apparently there are some pretty insane collectors of vintage Coca-Cola stuff that might come close, except they don't put themselves out there like video game collectors. If I find anything worthy of a satirical rant, I will definitely let you know. It is pretty interesting looking at different types of collectors and seeing what drives them in the rivalries in those other fields. I would wonder if maybe there's rivalries between the Pepsi paraphernalia and the Coca-Cola stuff. I wish I had time to really look up like a lot of these different collections, but I have not. I will say a funny collection was for a movie I remember to be How to Be a Player, I believe. It was Bill Bellamy, and he had a shoebox, and he had used panties in the shoebox from all of his conquest. And I'm thinking, if you have all these used panties, what's the correct way to collect used panties from your conquest? Do you keep them vacuum sealed? Do you have nice little poly bags? Do you display them in a room? That's something to be proud of. Do you maybe have a picture of the person, maybe, in the little bag? A lot of you are laughing right now, but that's an idea. That's something to show off and everything. That would be an interesting collection. I don't know if things would depreciate or, increase value, depending on maybe what if it's some celebrities you actually, got panties from. And how would you authenticify? What's that word? Authenticate or whatever, that maybe, this is Pamela Anderson's underwear. Like how would you? Would you have to go to the person and check? That's a silly idea, but that would be extreme collecting. Stamps, bottle caps. People collect a lot of different things for a lot of different reasons. I would say about the diamonds, it's always been silly to me, diamonds. I hear all these commercials for Diamonds Direct, and, you're about to get married. See, one of the reasons, there's very, very reasons, I've never been married and probably never going to be married. It's just the buying of a wedding ring. The buying of a wedding ring, the idea that you need to leverage so much of what you have. There's been people that said they've sold entire collections of things off to get enough money for a wedding ring. I understand love. I get love. I understand that. Wanting to be with someone, one person for the rest of your life. I get it. I understand it. But a man buying a woman a wedding ring. The man doesn't get a ring. Why? Because he has genitalia? Is that what it is? I don't get a ring. Maybe I want a ring, huh? Maybe I'd like a ring, right? Maybe they're... No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't accept a ring like that from somebody. But, the idea that a man has to go out... I don't get to thinking about this. Of all the things you could buy your loved one, a little rock that's shiny. That's actually the silliest thing I could think of. Yeah, I'll put it out there. That's the silliest thing I could think of, buying someone a wedding ring. Other people would look at that so a little rock that they wear on their ring. I mean, I get that you need to have a semblance for someone to show other males that they're taken, but, why are these things so expensive? You could say rarity, but it's just shiny. It's just a metal. You could get something, like Cuba zirconia, and it'd look, just as good, but I guess it's about the authenticity. I just don't get that, wedding rings. And a lot of people that are married couples that look down on collectors and collecting, I would look at them and say, look at how much money you spend on these worthless things, that don't do anything but show off how wealthy you are. The rings, the jewelry, all this stuff is just, we add value on it, but it's not usable. It's not usable collections. If anything, I would say that the thing about video game collections versus other collections is this was another comment that was very similar to this, WillsVG, somewhat similar. Uh, I think I either replied or I didn't get to, but of all the collections, I would say video games are one of the most interesting, best things to collect because for the most part, it's usable. How many of these different things that you collect are just not usable or, just shiny or, you just look at? These video games are, very interactive. So that's one of the coolest things to collect. Um, I remember a scene in Cowboy Bebop where they went to this is set in the future, but they went to a retro store and they see all these VCRs and Betamax and everything like that because they have a tape and he gets one in the mail of Faye and they want to go somewhere and play the tape. So they have to go to all these places with all this primitive technology. So I thought maybe having like a VCR or Betamax or Laserdisc collection, I thought that's pretty interesting. Anything technical where you have a collection of lots of things like that. I know people that have maybe car audio collections, different subs, different radios, different door speakers. And from time to time, they might switch out things in their car. They might get another car. I was heavily into car audio. Still kind of am, but I was really fascinated with car audio because certain things like this you get into, again, it's usable. You can use these things in your daily life. Some people are really big on cars, car parts, modifications. Again, I dabble in car modifications. So as far as collecting, um, I like usable collections, but stuff like, just collecting jewelry and shiny and everything. But yeah, and that's also something you could probably put up in the face of a woman, that criticizes your collection. I'm like, well, you collect jewelry. That's not usable. It's just shiny. What it makes you feel better about yourself, it's just shiny.